This is episode 39. This is a Jane Reid from the True Crime Nightmare podcast. Hello, it has been a while since my last episode. I hope everyone is well. It has been a nice summer break for me. This new episode looks at the case from New Zealand of a young girl called Kirsty Bentley. Kirsty was only 15 years old when she was brutally murdered on New Year's Eve of 1998. Sadly, the case is unsolved still, but hopefully it will get solved with so many developments that are now available at the police's and the forensic experts' disposal. It is never too late for a case to be solved, and in recent years many cases have been solved that had been cold cases going back decades, so there is always hope. Kirsty Bentley was born on the 18th of January of 1983 in Christchurch, New Zealand. She lived with her parents, Sydney Bentley, who was her father, and Jill Bentley, her mother, as well as her older brother, John. John Bentley was about 19 years old at the time of Kirsty's murder. Kirsty attended her local college in Ashburton, where the family had lived for many years. Ashburton College is a state secondary school. She was known to have had a close-knit circle of friends and was liked by many of her peers. Kirsty Bentley was considered by those that knew her to have been a normal teenage girl. Her mother would later go on to describe Kirsty as having been a vibrant and honest young girl. Kirsty was considered to have been a fairly confident teenager. It was said that she could at times be quite direct with people, but usually only people that she knew fairly well. She appeared different with strangers and would often apparently seem quite shy and often reserved with people that she had only just met or did not know that well. It has been said that she was known to have had a creative flair, which she would sometimes express through the medium of drama. She attended drama classes as well as poetry class. Who knows just how far in life she could have gone in either of those creative areas had she been given the chance. Kirsty Bentley was only a few weeks off from turning 16 when she died, and she had recently began dating a local boy called Graham, who was also a pupil at Ashburton College in Ashburton. They attended at least one class together and would also spend time together outside of school. The Bentley family had just celebrated Christmas together and were looking forward to also seeing in the new year, but unfortunately on New Year's Eve, Kirsty was murdered. Kirsty took the family dog, Abby, out for a walk, and she was brutally murdered by, so far, somebody unknown. Witnesses would later come forward to say that they saw Kirsty that afternoon with her black lab, Abby. Kirsty's mother had seen Kirsty earlier that day, and then she had gone off to work. The same was said of her father, although his whereabouts was a little bit hazy. Her brother was at home on and off, and Kirsty had plans for that day and also the evening. She was going to see in the New Year's Eve with her family and also with her boyfriend. No doubt she was looking forward to celebrating, seeing in the new year, just like most people. Kirsty was known to have been wearing a black tank top, a blue and white sarong, and a pair of shoes with butterflies on them. The shoes had white soles when she disappeared. Kirsty was also wearing underwear which included new items that she had just got for Christmas from her mother. She typically would put her shoulder-length hair up into a ponytail and would often use a scrunchie to keep the ponytail in place. New Year's Eve 1998 was a hot day and many people were out and about during the afternoon. Some were walking their dogs near the local river, presumably so the dogs could jump in the water to cool off. The route that Kirsty is known to take was her typical route. She would often walk the family dog by all accounts, so this was not anything unusual. so she was just doing what she had done on many previous occasions, it would seem. Apparently, Kirsty had loved animals and was very happy when the family got the black Labrador. Kirsty had plans in place for the rest of the day, which included meeting up with her boyfriend. Apparently, he was due to meet her at the house and he had planned to cook her a meal, and according to reports, he was then going to stay the night over at the Bentley family home afterwards. Kirsty is known to have left the family home at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon of New Year's Eve in 1998, and she had the family dog Abby with her because she had decided to take her out for a walk on that sunny afternoon. The first signs that something was not right came later that afternoon when Kirsty and the dog had not returned home. Jill Bentley, Kirsty's mother, returned home from work at about 5:15. John, Kirsty's brother, had told his mother that Kirsty had taken the dog out for a walk some time ago, but for some reason they had not returned home yet. Her mother was obviously concerned, even though it had only been a few hours and it was broad daylight, but sometimes we just know that something seems different. Jill Bentley began phoning around to see if anyone had seen her daughter. She called Kirsty's boyfriend, Graham, who told her that he did not know where she was and had not seen her that day. Jill Bentley knew the route that her daughter would often take when walking Abby, so she decided to go and take a look to see if she could find them. However, she could not find them and was by now becoming very worried. She decided to go back home, hoping that they had turned up and that she had just missed them somehow, or that she had taken Abby on a different route other than the usual one that she would normally take. Anything was possible at this stage, with it only being a few hours since there had been any sign of Kirsty or the dog. Once she'd returned to the family home, she spoke to her son John and they agreed to leave it until 6 o'clock before going out to look for Kirsty again. The idea was presumably that she could arrive back home in the meantime, but unfortunately Kirsty did not return back to the family home. At 6 o'clock, John went out to have a look for his sister. At about the same time, Kirsty's father, Sid, returned home. He was told that Kirsty had not returned from her walk and he phoned the police to report her missing. The police obviously took notice straight away because they quickly organised a search for 15-year-old Kirsty Bentley immediately. The first search took place that evening. The initial search party included police officers, family members of Kirsty's, as well as some of Kirsty's friends. They all searched throughout the night, but there was no sign of Kirsty or the family dog. The day after, which was New Year's Day 1999, another search was carried out in the local area and also the wider area. Abby, the family dog, was found alive, tied to a tree in some dense